Hey everybody, I'm Dawn and welcome to Bang Bang Book Reviews Arcs. And today's arc is The Atlas Paradox by Olivie Blake, which is book 2 in the Atlas 6 series, and this book comes out October 25th. I would like to thank NetGalley for the free digital arc. If you are new here, this is how I do my arc reviews, or any book review actually. I do the overview of the book, I tell you my rating, I tell you what I did not like, and then I will end on a positive note with what I did like, and then I will go into spoilers, for which once again I will let you know when I am doing spoilers so that you will not be spoiled. All right, let's get started with the overview. Destiny, I'm reading, so I'm not looking at the camera because I'm reading. Destiny is a choice. The Atlas Paradox, what? No. 6 magicians, 2 rivals, 1 researcher, and a man who can walk through dreams. All must... This is some wonky grammar. Who starts a sentence with all? No. All must pick a side. Do they wish to preserve the world or destroy it? In the electric sequel to the viral sensation, The Atlas 6, the Society of Alexandrians is revealed to what it is, a secret society with raw world-changing power. Headed by a man whose plans to change life as we know it are already underway, but the cost of knowledge is steep. And as the price of power demands each character choose a side, which alliance will hold and which will see their enmity deepen. Ooh, sounds amazing. All right, so first of all, I gave the Atlas 6 a 4.75. I'm gonna say 4.75, which is the highest rating I have given this year. I know, I couldn't remember that I did that. I thought I only gave it a 4.5, but I gave it a 4.75. This book is not as good as book 1, so therefore I could not give it higher than 4.75, but I'm going to give it a 4.25, somewhere around there. I did enjoy it. It took me a week to finish. This book is exhausting. Like, you read a couple chapters, and at least for me, I read a couple chapters and I have to put the book down. I'm like, I am so overwhelmed with information. How am I supposed to process all this information? And that's why it took me a week, because I was reading it 2 chapters at a time whilst watching The Crown and Hot D and whatever else I was watching. And it took me so long to get through, but I made it. I made it, damn it. And here we are. All right, so let's start with my dislikes. So the first book, one adjective that many people used, including myself, was pretentious. And this book is also pretentious. However, I didn't mind it so much in book 1 because it was new to me. Her writing style was new. The story was new for me anyway. Maybe not for people who read a lot of science fiction. I do not. So this was all new to me. And so I could overlook the pretentious writing. Also, there was some really good character development in the first book, once again masking the pretentiousness. However, book 2, although there was some good character development, I already know the characters now. And so the pretentious writing is like a beacon. It's like, look at me, look at me. And I looked at it and it got on my nerves. It was a lot of them just standing around in different rooms, talking about some quantum physics in 15 pages when they could have had that same discussion in 5 pages. It's like that old meme. This could have been an email. It's like, come on, can we, I know you love hearing yourself talk, girlfriend, but can we tighten it up just a little bit? There was a bit of a spicy scene, and I'll say what that spicy scene was in the spoiler edition. And even that was pretentious and talky. I'm like, girl, can we just see some booty action without you being so cerebral? The one character was just in their head the entire time, and I'm like, really, dude? So that was my major dislike. It was just too much a talking. And once again, I love character-driven stories. I hate lots of plot. I hate action on the page. And for me to complain about a book as too much talking is a rarity, because I prefer a lot of talking. I prefer character development, but this was just too much. It could have been written more succinctly. I want her to learn how to do that. My second dislike was Raina. I didn't like her in book 1 and I didn't like her in book 2. I knew that she wasn't given a huge role in the first book because I figured she'd play a bigger role in book 2, which she did. However, she still had no personality. Bitchy the whole time. Like, I can tell that she is not Olivie Blake's favorite character. It's probably her least favorite character because of the amount of time she spent on Raina, which was not much. She had more chapters in this book, but her character development was like this. That was it. And it's a shame because I feel like her character arc is interesting. Like where she's going in the story and what she was doing as far as her research and everything was interesting for her, but just her development was lacking. She only had one good moment in the story, and it was her describing her mother, and I'm gonna read it because I love it. And she's talking about her mother. She's extremely particular, always has things removed when we go to restaurants. I think it's a game for her. She always wants something changed so that she can establish her dominance over dinner. I fucking love that. That's the best thing about Raina, was that one little quote. Once again, I feel like she will play a bigger role in book 3. I can only assume because she doesn't play much of a role in book 2. My third dislike is I was a spectator and not a participant. And by that I mean I prefer books, especially like this. What the hell is all over me? I prefer books that allow me as the reader to come up with my own theories. I want the book to give me clues to allow me to come up with theories. And this book kind of does it, but it doesn't do that in relation to the ending. It does it in relation to the motives of some of the characters. It will give you clues. But as far as the big ending, it doesn't. The big ending just comes out of nowhere. It happened in book 1, where Atlas basically wants to destroy the world and start anew. Where the hell did that come from? Once again, in book 2, you're like, what? And I'm not saying that there's a huge twist ending at the end of this book, and I'm not saying that there is. See what I did there? I personally hate when people say twist ending, the book has a twist ending. It's like, I want to experience it myself. I don't want you to tell me there's a twist ending. I'm looking for it. I hate when people do that. If you do that, stop doing that. That's annoying. Yeah, because she doesn't really give you many clues, the ending was a little anticlimactic for me. I didn't really enjoy that ending. I enjoyed it because it finally showed itself, because I was exhausted after about a week of reading this book. I was like, hello, the ending. I love you. But other than that, no. My last, okay, so this is not a dislike for me. I'm putting this in this section because I feel like it will be a dislike for other people, and that is Libby. Libby is like Selena Sardothian in this book, in that everybody loves her. Everybody loves her. Everybody loves Libby. Everybody loves her. She's awesome. This most unremarkable girl who sits in the corner with her shitty bangs, but everybody loves her. It's that bullshit. And after a while, I admit it got annoying. Like, I feel like at like the 80% mark, when somebody said something about her, I was like, but other than that, I liked Libby. But if you did not like Libby in book 1, you are not gonna like her in book 2, like at all. So I've warned you. You've been warned. Those are all my dislikes. I feel like that wasn't a lot. And the Libby one was a nitpick. It wasn't even a huge dislike. It was a nitpick. So I say three dislikes. Not too bad. Raina is also a nitpick. Two dislikes and 2 nitpicks. Nitpicks for me are just things that annoyed me, but it doesn't affect my rating. So those little things did not make me rate the book lower, but not being a participant, just being a spectator, and the pretentious writing made me lower my rating. All right, likes. Libby. I actually like Libby, except for that one moment at 80% when I was exhausted and I didn't want to get her damn name and mouth anymore. Other than that, I liked her a lot. I like that she is the antithesis of Parisa. She is just unremarkable. She's the quiet, smart insecure girl in the corner, whereas Parisa is the exact opposite, yet everyone is affected by her in some way. She's gone. So at the end of book 1, she is taken. And she's gone through some of the book, all of the book, none of the book. I don't know. I'm not going to tell you. That's for you to find out. However, there are some moments in the book where she is not with the main group. However, her lack of existence in their group has impacted them. It's like they don't know what to do with themselves. They don't know who they are without this one unremarkable girl. And I love it. I love it so much. And everyone has their own reason for loving or hating Libby. And I'll get to that more in the spoiler section. I'm not going to say it here. Once again, that's for you to discover. But I really did like that. My second like is the characters in general. I love a character-driven story. I said that already. And this book is very character-driven. I think there might be 3 like big plot moments, not very many, and they weren't long either compared to some of these long-ass conversations. The big events weren't very long, and so therefore this is my jam. I love it. And I liked the characters. I was a little worried because, like I said, book 1 was introducing us to all the characters. So now in book 2, we know who everyone is. So what else is she going to do? And so what Olivie did was showed how the characters had grown or regressed because Libby was not there. And also just being in the house or being at the school in general, how it has impacted them and how they have grown since book 1. So I did like where she took all the characters. All the characters went somewhere. They did something. They all contributed to the plot. The standouts, once again, Parisa. I think Olivie loves Parisa. And Tristan. And then after Tristan would be Nico. And then Callum and then Raina. So that's the order that I'm assuming that Olivie likes her characters, because they are the best developed ones in the book. Another like is that this book is a critical book because it has a lot of themes. And I enjoy a thematic book. And 2 of the biggest standouts in this book, 2 of the biggest themes standouts are love and purpose in life. This book really tackles everyone struggles with what their purpose in life is. Why are they here? Why were they given these powers? Were they given them to do something with it, or are they just there to exist? What is their purpose? Everyone asks that question and everyone has a different answer, and I love it. I love a good, well thought out theme, and I thought this did a really good job. Love is also a really good theme, and it's not just romantic love, it's also friendship love. Thank you. Nico and Gideon have a strong friendship love, and I love it. I love it when an author says, you know what, publishers, back off my story, man. I am not going to have all these characters fall in love with each other. I'm not going to pair everybody off, even though there's 3 girls and 3 boys. I'm not going to pair everybody off. Some are going to be romantic love. Some are just going to be physical love. Some are just anti-love, and you're going to have to deal with it. And I'm like, thank you. And my last like is Gideon. In the first book, I was like, who the hell is Gideon? Why is he jumping in people's dreams? And why is his mom a mermaid? And why is his friend a dog? Like, what the hell? She just kind of threw that in there. And you're like, and I knew that it was going to be more substance to it in book 2, and it wasn't too much. But what we got, I thought, was pretty good. I like Gideon, and I'm excited to find out more about him in book 3. That is my spoiler-free review of The Atlas Paradox. I highly recommend it. If you liked book 1, if you're one of those people who loved it and gave it a 5, I don't know if you're going to give this one a 5, just because it was something different, which I think is one of the reasons why people rated it so high. And this one, it's not new anymore because you read book 1. So I don't know if people are going to give it a 5, but I do think you're going to enjoy it if you liked book 1. If you're one of those people who gave book 1 a 3 and you're like, well, maybe book 2 is going to be better. This book kind of suffers from the old book 2, I don't know the word for it, But you know that thing where book twos are just kind of a bridge between book one and book three. This book kind of is that, unfortunately. Sometimes I like book twos better than book one. Obviously I didn't because I rated it lower, but there is a lot of standing around and talking, like a lot of it. I don't know what my next book is going to be, but I hope you join me, whatever that book is. And until then, I'll catch you in the next ARC review. Bye-bye. If you are here for spoilers, hello and welcome to spoilers. Okay, so the first thing I think people are going to focus on, which people tend to do, and you know, that's what people do. They all seem to like zero in on one thing and they all have an opinion about it when that's not the focus, or they're kind of wrong. So in the first book, it was that three-way between Libby, Tristan, and Parisa. Everyone was like, oh my God, that was not of her character. Why did she do that? That, people, is called going from a little girl to a woman. She was tired of being herself and she wanted to be something different for once. So in this book, the one thing people are going to focus on is Parisa and Nico. Parisa and Nico, they don't bang, but they have a sexy scene. But I know everyone was like, oh my God, she's just being on the guys. And some of the girls like, oh, why? Okay, here's why. At least this is my opinion, and I'm probably right. This is why I think Parisa tried to hook up with Nico, and she was the initiator. So right before she hooked up with Nico, she pushed Gideon. No, she didn't kill Gideon, because Gideon was there to do something with Dalton. He was there to like save Dalton. I'll get to that in a second. And she caught him, and she was going to kill him until she like listened to his thoughts. And his thought was, Nico, I love you. Nico, I love you. He said something else about Nico in his thoughts. And she heard that and she's like, oh my God, you're Gideon. And she didn't kill him. So then immediately after that, she goes to Nico. And I think the reason why she did that is because Parisa prides herself on not falling in love. She's like, I don't got time for that. Men are fucking assholes. I'm doing me and get the hell out of my way. However, when she saw how much Gideon loved Nico, she wanted to understand what it was about Nico. When Nico first appears in book one, he's a bit of a douche. He's not the kindest person to Libby in book one. But of course, as we get to know Nico, he's a lovely person. And in this book, he is incredibly comforting. He's hurting because Libby's gone. He's compassionate. And Parisa sees this change in him. And she sees how much he cares for Libby and how much Libby cares for her, how much he and Raina have such a good friendship. And I think she just wanted to understand, what is it about Nico that everybody loves him? Why does everybody love him? Can I love him too? And I don't mean necessarily sexual or romantic, but just, can I be a great friend to him too? Like Gideon and Libby, I want to understand what it is about him that everyone loves him. And so therefore I'm going to make out with him just to be in his orbit and maybe get in his thoughts and in his head and everything. And that is why she tried to hook up with Nico. It wasn't because she was horny. It was a reason. I do not think Olivie Blake makes her characters do anything unless there is a much deeper reason for it. So I wanted to get that out of the way because I feel like that is what everyone's going to focus on. Callum, she tried to make him sympathetic in this book for like 5 seconds. So he feels pain when he empathizes with people. He tries to like help people, and he's in constant pain. So that's why he's a dick, apparently. He's just always in pain. Whatever. He's drinking quite a bit more, but I think it's more than his pain. I think in my opinion, he's upset that he has lost his friendship with Tristan. Tristan was the only person who genuinely liked him, and he screwed it up when he manipulated his mind, and Tristan no longer wanted to be his friend, and he is mourning his loss of friendship with Tristan. Tristan was also meant to kill him. He was meant to die. And even though he wants to walk around like, I don't care, whatever, it bothered him that people wanted to kill him, because he does want to be liked. He does want friends. He does want love. He just walks around saying that he doesn't. So I liked Callum for that reason. He really wasn't in the story too much as far as development. He was just, I don't even think he had that many chapters. He was always in other people's chapters. So he kind of took a backseat in this book. So let's get to Atlas's real motive, because in the first book, Ezra thinks that Atlas wants to destroy the world and create a new, but it is not what he is trying to do. What he is trying to do is use all these people. He has discovered that the library is sentient, meaning that the library can observe people and absorb their knowledge and put it in a book. He has learned that. The library is kind of a living, breathing thing, which is awesome because I'm a librarian. A little scary too. So he wants to find someone who can travel in between worlds. And he wants to find a new world in the multiverse, if there is a multiverse, and start anew. He doesn't want to tear down the world that we live in as humans. He wants to find a new one and start anew. That's what he wants. And I'll get to Dalton in a second. But yeah, so Atlas is not the horrible mastermind that we were led to believe he was in book 1, which will be the demise of Ezra. Okay, Belen. What the hell was her purpose? So Ezra takes Libby to 1989, which I think they say why it's important. I don't remember specifically why. I don't know if if Ezra was born then, or if his mother died then. Something of significance happened, and they say in the book, I just don't remember what it was. But he dropped her off in 1989 for a reason. And she's like, what? And so she meets this woman named Belen. And Belen is actually, in current time, she's in part of the Forum, which is trying to take down the society. And Belen, of course, has fallen in love with her. This is what I'm talking about. And everybody is in love with this girl. And she is the second one that is in love with her. Ezra's number 1. Belen is number 2. She's in love with her too. And she is pissed when she finds out that Libby is a time traveler and wasn't honest with her. She spent her last dime on her to travel to Scotland. And it has affected her entire life. She thinks about Libby and what could have been all the time. The only good things I liked about Belen's chapter was just the realism of this incredibly intelligent woman. And because she's a woman, people don't listen to her. And she's just like fucking frustrated with it. Parisa and Dalton. So I think it turns out that Parisa does have the capacity to fall in love, and it is Dalton. She loves Dalton. Now, Dalton's situation was kind of hinted at, but not as much as I would have liked, because I was reading it. I had to read like 3 times. I was like, what just happened? I'm sorry. What? So apparently, if I'm getting this correct, and if I am wrong and you're watching this, let me know. So apparently, Atlas has killed many people, but that's beside the point. Dalton wanted to continue his work in creationism and all this stuff, and how the world came to be and all this stuff. But the library was not giving him access to a specific set of books that he needed, because the library was like, I don't think your motives are good. We're not going to give you that book. Sorry, dude. And so he had Atlas split him in 2 and hide away the bad part of him that made the library question giving him the book. So his bad side is hidden away in that castle. That's who Parisa was meeting in them castle dreams. Meanwhile, we have this robot Dalton. That's why he really had no personality. People were like, why do you like that dude? Which, of course, we knew why he liked him. She was just using him for information. But everyone else was like, ugh, this guy is, ugh. He is vanilla. He is white bread. He is booty boring. However, it is because a large part of his soul was locked away. So then Gideon got up in there and pushed bad Dalton out the window, and in doing so, it put them all together. And he's like, no, I have to continue my research. The library won't give me the books I need if I'm bad. Change it. Get Atlas. Fix it. And so he fixed it. Atlas fixed it. He continued his research. And then he became the baddie. Not the baddie, but he's just like, at the end, he's like, Atlas is dumb because now I know all the info. And I'm going to find my own multiverse, and you're going to come with me, Paritza, and we are going to make the world anew, essentially. Like I said, there was kind of some clues to that, but not enough. I don't know. I liked it, but it wasn't, once again, that was the ending. And I wasn't like, as I felt like the book wanted me to. I was just like, oh. And of course, I had to read it a couple times because it was the end of the book. I was exhausted. And a lot of words were just coming at me. And I was just like, yeah. So I had to read it like 3 times to understand what was actually happening. But that is what's actually happening. I have a question though. So Dalton was the one who animated Libby. I theorized that from book 1. I was like, it was Dalton somehow. Gideon's mom found a way to, I'm guessing, the bad Dalton to animate Libby. But how did she get there? How did she know to go there? That's what I want to know. That wasn't answered. And Dalton nor Paritza never was like, Gideon asked Paritza if it worked, if he was able to kick out bad Dalton, and she said no. She lied, not sure why, but she did. I guess maybe to leave Dalton alone so he wouldn't try again. I don't know. No, he would try again. I don't know why he did that. I don't know why she lied. Anyway, yeah. I don't know how Gideon's mom found Dalton in the first place. So I was saying that Raina has a really interesting character arc, and she basically is having a god complex. She's denying it, but she does. She totally thinks she's God, or a god. Not the god, but a god. And she is going to be up some shenanigans. She is paired up with Callum, which is never a good thing. And she has found Tristan's dad. Oh, I forgot to say, Tristan, also in love with Libby, number 3. And he is like in love. He is like, she completes me. She's the one I am meant to be with. She's the reason why I suck. I am so insecure because she makes me whole. Like, he just found Jesus in Libby. And I liked Tristan. It got a little repetitive for me, for him, because it was like, oh my God, Tristan, boo-boo, I need you to get a clue. Your dad fucked you over. I need you to go to some therapy. And I need you to learn how to deal with it. Because that's essentially what it is. He can't be his full magic potential because of his trauma. And everyone's telling him that, but he can't get past it. He can't not get past it, but he can't figure out how to deal with it. So he's just stuck. I did like it, but at the same time, it was frustrating. And the last major development is Libby comes in at the very end and trills. Don't know what that means. She kills Ezra. So Ezra and Atlas are talking in his office, and he's like, I know you're here to kill me, dude. Let's just go. And of course, he tries to gaslight Ezra and to be like, but you don't want to do that because it's not going to matter. And Ezra's like, shut up. I want to kill you. This has been my purpose in life for years, and you are not going to ruin it. So once again, we have that whole purpose in life thing come back. And Libby comes in and was just like, blast him away. However, Ezra has tried to kill himself many, many times, and he can't. He can't do it. He can't die. He's immortal. So I don't think he dies. I don't think that's the end of Ezra. That can't be the end of Ezra, which is pretty cool. I think that's all I had. That's all I have for spoilers. Those are the major things that I caught. I will be watching this video for when book 3 comes out because I will forget everything that happened in this book. And I will be watching this to refresh my memory. Hi, Dawn. Hi, future Dawn. Hi, you're at work. You're at work on your break doing this review. All right. Thank you for joining me for the spoiler review of the Atlas Paradox, and I will catch you in the next arc review. Bye-bye.